Anyway, taking a look at the chart, I mean, yeah, what are you kind of seeing here? Because it's not pretty over the last few weeks. I mean, we've been coming down the whole and a good perspective. I think you sent me a tweet from somebody the other day, Ewok, or I don't know where I saw, but multiple people are saying, hey, keep in mind the whole market has been dumping. So it isn't just PulseChain.
Right.
So keep that in mind. But, to see us come below that 4 zeros and an 8 number and be where we are right now, we're at 4072 after old Nick Cherry sold a couple of weeks ago. There was one crazy wick down. I would like to see us gravitate up towards that price. So what are you kind of seeing here? And do you think we might just be slowly moving at this range for a while?
Well, it's funny because this blue line that I drew a couple of weeks ago, and I said, that was kind of my target drop area, and I thought we would chop around in there a little bit, but I thought it would bounce off. It's doing kind of the opposite of what I thought. It's turned into resistance now because it hit it here, and then it hit it here, and then went down again. So, we've had 3 tests of that 8.5 line, and it just decided that was it. So, it could actually go, I hate to say this, but it probably could go, because it seems to be a little exhausted right now. I think our next level is down here around 6.5.
Well, that's about where the wick went. That's where the Nick wick went the day that he sold. It went right around there. So sorry to interrupt.
It's not. That's okay. It's not showing on this chart. I think I'm on the USDC price, which, honestly, that's probably not the best chart to be using. They're very similar, but we want it. Well, I mean, I guess you got to kind of tie it to something. So
it's fine. I mean, we're getting the picture, but yeah,
you get the picture. I mean, like I said, I think these levels down in here, where the last time there was some support or resistance, was right around this 6.5 area. So it could test down there if we don't get some buyers to step in soon. We could find ourselves down here a little bit. And again, I perfectly fine. The one thing I would recommend, though, be careful if you've got any loans out there that you're not, as this thing creeps down, don't forget your collateralization ratio that, you might either want to pay a little bit off or add a little bit more pulse to increase your collateral. So just keep that in mind, because this could dip again before we really do start to go up. But again, that's okay. This is healthy as long as it stays, I think, within this zone between the line that I drew and the current price, maybe a little bit lower. Like I said, even 6.5, 6.8, somewhere there. As long as it chops around in there and goes sideways, again, accumulation is the best way to handle this right now. So,
yeah. I think so too. Yeah, not necessarily fun to be down here right now, but it is what it is, and it's it's one of those things where, like, I know it gets extremely frustrating, but when you zoom out and think about, a good practice for anybody would be like watch our streams with Frank Molina, or frankly anybody who has streamed with Frank Molina. We have twice. He is somebody that can help you with perspective a whole bunch, and kind of zooming out. And I know people get upset with him because it's like, oh, well, you make all this money and I don't. And then, I saw people bitching like that, which, take a little bit of accountability there. But for some perspective, if you've got a good head on your shoulders, he's somebody to really help you, work through your thoughts, I think, with scenarios like this. So,
well, for him, it's more of a long-term mindset, and that's what you have to learn more than anything. And it's probably a good segue into the Richard's tweet about how he bought at 30 and it went to 2.
Yeah.
His point behind that was, I didn't sell. I held it because what do you do when it's at the bottom? Do you take losses like that? No, you hold it because the next cycle goes up again. And, back then it was so early, there was no historic channels or historic charts to look at, so he only hoped that it would go up, and sure enough, it did. As with most markets, over time they will go up because, again, we're going back against the dollar. As the dollar goes down, your prices and your charts usually go up. So just kind of how the world works. It's got to be a long time horizon mentality to be successful.
Yeah, I agree. And easier said than done. And that's why most people don't achieve success, because they can't hack it just the way it is. So if you're
Yep.
sticking around, you may be a little bit insane, but you also may be a little bit rich too eventually. So keep that in mind. So